volleyball on the island. Grandma would coach salmon and told me the national was her favorite sort of dish and would always share it with me. I remember my mom trying to recreate this dish at home and told her his children knew that grandma's taste better. Grandma also loved movies and soaps. I think just about everyone in our family has seen The Sound of Music at least once, and I've probably seen it at least 15 times. And at 12 p.m., when I was on my island, we'd sit down at lunch and watch All My Children. And if we missed it, Grandpa would record it so we could all watch it later. When I was 9 or 10, Grandma and Grandpa took Kevin and I on a road trip to Alberta and Winnebago. We stopped at Castle Fun Park, we did Bonnie and Lanny and Bernie, saw the Frank slide, went to the Calgary Zoo and explored the Royal Texas Museum. The highlight, of course, was the West Edmonton Mall. Looking back, I can't imagine doing a trip like that. It cost 2 provinces with paper maps, no phones, and 2 kids. But they did it, and I'm really grateful for those memories. Jumping ahead a few years, when we found out I was pregnant in 2020, Derek and I knew we wanted to name our child in honor of our grandparents. If we had a girl, her name would have been Mitzi Morrison, which I think was a pretty cute name. Obviously, if we had a boy, we named him Toshi Morrison, though everyone knows him as Tosh, just like Grandpa. By that time, Grandpa's short-term memory wasn't very strong, but she still held on to moments from the past. Remember, whenever she saw Tosh, her face would light up and would often ask, "What's his name?" And I never minded repeating it, because in between her responses like, "That's a nice name," or "Oh, I like that name," she would have moments where she'd say, "That's my husband's name." Grandpa would be happy. Or I think Tosh would be happy to know the baby. Like, I told my sister that. As you know, Grandma was an excellent maker and impressively modern Christian woman. She was also a gifted sewist and quilter, as an artist does when she was signing her quilts, usually on the back corner, so as not to draw attention from the quilt. And sometimes she would use a label or write an overhead message. The last quilt I received from her was at Tucson in 2007, made with love, Grandma. Thank you for coming today.
Hello, my name is Kevin, second oldest of the grandchildren. Unfortunately, I overlapped on the same memories of grandchildren. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin, Mitzi's oldest grandson and second oldest grandchild. According to Grandma and Grandpa saw me only a few hours after I was born, but I think the first memories I had of grandmas and grandpas or when I went to Main Island with my cousins and sometimes with friends. Grandma would often take me or my friends and I to the beach or go fishing on the orange boats. It was because of Grandma and Grandpa that I came to love the oceans. Being around Grandma, I got to learn a little bit about Japanese culture, as my mom was not interested in that sort of thing, never cared to learn about Japanese language or traditions. When I visited Grandma Main Island, she would serve Japanese food items like yamagoko, local icon, and other items. We would also go to the Main Island Japanese garden quite a bit as well, so I enjoyed looking at the plants and the trees. Grandma would often take me for walks around the Main Island Japanese garden and point to all the plants, trees, or projects that Grandma put in. Steve and I would also catch frogs at the Japanese garden, and Grandma let us do that, even though we were not really supposed to. Other activities that I enjoyed with Grandma on the Main Island were climbing Mount Park, walking along the beach, bird fishing off the dock, and occasionally going to some parade or festival on Main Island. Sometimes Grandma would take some of my cousins and I to Victoria, Sydney, or other parts of Vancouver Island. Some places I liked going with Grandma and Grandpa were the walk on shop and sandwich, Underneath Garden, which is no longer there, Crystal Gardens, the National Museum, and the Brooklyn. I know I heard this story at Grandpa's funeral, but I think it is worth repeating. On one particular special occasion, Shannon and I went with Grandma and Grandpa to Alberta. We visited the Royal Trail Museum and the West Edmonton Mall, did also on Sunday. Grandma got me started on learning Japanese when I was in high school, as I took an interest in language then. One time, Mom and Dad was out on the trip, and Grandma and Grandpa came over. Grandma taught me some Japanese phrases, and then I was inspired to learn more. Remember when I was a kid, Grandma was a translator for us, for our cousins, whose Tsunekis came over from Japan. away, and Grandma was alone. During the years of COVID, Grandma was living with us for a short time. During this time, I moved away here to Florida to live in Christian Valley. After circumstances caused me to have to come back, Grandma was in the care home. I would visit Grandma and Mom and Dad, and later on my friend and I would visit Grandma every Friday. I had to take my friend shopping at a Canadian superstore, and since there was one near the care home, Grandma was staying at my friend, was staying there. My friend and I would visit Grandma and go shopping at Joker's for short afternoons. Sadly, one of these visits had to be sped up as Grandma's